episode.
Yeah, this is the one which I'm finally going to support him. Because all moms talk like that, yes. Except for mine. Mine goes, "Ooh."
Oh, dude. That's so sad.
Come on. No, come on. It's the time of year to make Ghosts of Christmas Past jokes.
Oh, dude.
He'll say, I'm going to be very drunk on Christmas.
Oh, my gosh.
Starting on a light note, people. Welcome to the Infernal Brotherhood of the Scruffy Looking Nerf Herders. This is, in fact, a bi-monthly HoloNet news episode. I'm totally not reading my fucking show notes. I'm just winging it. I'm just going raw dog, because you people want to see. You want to see real. You want to see gritty. You want to see us.
We'll give you real
stuff.
Real raw dog ghost action.
Yeah.
Where else are you getting that on the internet? Nowhere.
Probably the next video, but whatever. You want to see this first.
The next suggested video is raw dog ghost action. This is the title.
I'd watch it. Just to see. Just to see.
It would just be a dude in a basement like, I thought I saw something. Did you see something? Look, it moved. The box moved an inch. It happened in an hour's time span. Look, everyone.
I'm totally possessed for the first time every episode.
Yeah.
Out of a haunted museum in Vegas.
Hi, welcome to the Infernal Brotherhood. Scruffy Looking Nerf Herders, people.
HoloNet news time.
Yeah. This is my second favorite type of episode that we do. Of the two types of episodes.
No, we do three.
Oh, that's true.
This is definitely the better of...
That's true.
Well, this is definitely in the middle.
Though, to be fair, I really enjoy our review/complaining sessions.
That's true. It is fucking fun. It's very cathartic to just get that shit out there.
We started with such good... like meaning, like we wanted to do such a wonderful job, and then the show got in the way.
Well, no. What really happened was the show just overstepped.
Yeah.
The Kowakin Monkey Lizard episode was amazing.
It's too good.
Like,
it was
by
too
far,
good.
that's the best episode of the season. Like, I will watch that episode numerous times. The rest, probably not.
We're talking about Star Wars Resistance, for those of you not in the know.
The current show that we hate.
It's crazy because it's the only good episode, but it wasn't just good. It was like fan service good. Like it paid service to the people who love Star Wars. And so it was like, look, we know what you want to see. We're just not going to give it to you.
Yeah. We want to see monkeys with guns. But we'll dangle it in front of your nose and then say,
That was so good. Poe's total terror of Kowakian monkey lizards was just so good. And then his accidental killing one was so great. And the fucking Kaz being assaulted by these fucking monkey lizards. And their a collective terror about the, I don't know, like monkey gorillas? I don't know what the big bad guy name was. But it was
we'll call him the KML Hulk.
Yeah, KML Hulks were badass.
Yeah.
It was just such a great show. It was so good. I'm so This is not the point of the show tonight. But I feel like it should be stated with emphasis.
It should, especially because tomorrow you guys are going to get... probably Tuesday, you guys are going to get the finale episode.
Right? This is like the last episode, right?
Yeah, this is it. This is the final episode of the season.
It better be fucking good.
We are finally fucking done. You know what? I don't even care if it's good. We're going to be done with this goddamn season. True. I'm still going to buy the next season because I have to.
I should be happy.
But I'm probably not going to like it.
Yeah. Collectively, we should be happy that, one, it's ending. Hopefully they hear what the fans have to say. I haven't listened to literally any other reviews, so maybe we're on the out. Like, maybe we're the weird ones.
No, maybe everybody else is like, you know what, we're going to play it safe and not piss off the mouse by just not talking shit on this abomination.
Yeah. They're going to be like, no,
I
this
can
is
actually
a
say
great
more
episode
about
where
the holiday special.
They played a 1980s game in the future in a galaxy far, far away with their bodies. That was awesome.
That was something.
Like, he taught him a good lesson.
Yeah.
Great episode.
At the end of every episode, it's just message.
It's just so goddamn. At least in our day, I don't know about our day, but definitely in my day, with like the origins of He-Man and G.I. Joe, they did that on purpose in order to actually have the show so that they could show the mild violence that they did. They had to, by the censor's decree, have like a good moral lesson at the end. And so they had like Joe from G.I. Joe standing up in front being like, and that's why you don't bully other kids. Like, you had to do it.
And knowing is half the battle.
Yeah.
G.I. Joe.
You had to do that. But now they're doing it.
Yeah.
And it's not even overt. It's not ironic. They're just doing it because they're fucking idiot tools. Not because they're trying to make a statement or they have to meet some weird criteria check mark or because they have something to say. It's just like...
And they're not even fucking selling toys. Like, really think about it.
Okay. Wait,
like, because G.I. Joe, He-Man, She-Ra, all that shit. I mean, I fucking watched them.
That's all it was a toy grab. But you
watched them because you wanted those goddamn toys. You wanted to know how to act out the next week.
The shows would not exist at all if not for the toys.
Yeah.
And to bring it back to Star Wars, they would not have existed if not for the success of Star Wars merchandise based off the movies. So they were doing it backwards on the hopes that they could even touch Star Wars. And now we have Star Wars, ironically, doing the opposite. Yeah. Trying their hardest to sell toys, but everyone's like, no, I don't give a fuck because you're not telling good stories and you're not creating good characters. And why?
I mean, at least the Black Series is cool, so that's something.
That's true. But that's all us, like the older generation who wants to connect with our nostalgia. That's not kids. Like, they don't give a fuck.
Yeah, well, and kids shouldn't be allowed to touch the Black Series toys anyways.
Right. Stay in the box. Don't touch them.
Yeah, you put them on your fucking wall and you look at them every day like, God damn.
Nostalgia.
Oh, I bet that coat feels so fuzzy, but I'm never going to know. I've got a pimp trooper over there that I look at today, like, I just want to pet him so bad.
Pimp coat. The pimp trooper with a pimp coat.
Hell yeah.
So what are we talking about,
Adam?
What?
So speaking of TV,
yes.
Why don't we start the show?
Great segue. Thank you for bringing it back.
I'm a fucking master of segues, dude.
All right, let's go to the show notes here.
Yeah.
Can I do this? We can do this.
We can.
Maybe.
I promise we're going to try to not make this a bashing Resistance show.
We have to. We have to.
For
the sake of the fans.
This is for you, Josh.
All right, Galaxy Adventure.
Galaxy of Adventures.
Plural.
I have not started this shit because I completely spaced it.
I can't believe you haven't watched this yet.
Me either. Like, I wanted to. Okay, to be fair, when I was first making the show notes and saw this, I was like, oh my God. Because originally, when this was first announced, it was only going to be on, I believe, XD and what other... Yeah, there was another paid-for platform that I didn't have that it was going to be on, and then turns out this is now on StarWarsKids.com and the Disney Star Wars YouTube channel. So you can actually watch these for free.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I was at work. Fucking stupid job.
They're super short, dude. You can watch them all while pooping. Like, that's how short.
Well... Yeah, that's true. I guess I could have. I really screwed the pooch on that, I guess. Instead of focusing on popping those turds out.
So gross.
But these seem so much fun, especially the way that it's set up.
Okay,
and you've seen them, so you can tell me.
And I'm going to right now because the animation is so infinitely better than Resistance that it actually makes me mad.
Yeah.
It makes me mad because, one, the animation is better, and then it really makes me mad because it's spoiling these characters and their total story arcs. If you were a kid watching this little YouTube series for free without ever having seen the movies, it would give away some of the greatest parts of the movies. Like, that's what is so frustrating to me, is that we grew up in an era where you had to actually, like, sit and watch something to get the gist of character development, of adventure, of the magic of the Force, and this show gives it away for free. So it's so frustrating because you don't earn... This is like old man on the porch type shit, but you don't
this
earn...
is the shit we need to hear.
Yeah, you don't earn the fucking right to know Luke's character arc, or Leia's character arc, or the depths of Vader's true story of tragedy. Like, you don't get any of that. You just get, he is a Dark Lord of the Sith who manifests power, who used to be Anakin Skywalker, who blah, blah, blah. You just gave away the fucking biggest thing ever! Like, fuck, man!
That's 3 goddamn movies right there.
It's so frustrating that I may be making some leaps here. But I genuinely got upset because it was such good animation that it drew me in much more than Resistance ever could in the fucking 8 episodes we've seen, or 10 episodes we've seen, and then told the story that you're supposed to have watched already. And the premise of this short series is supposed to be introducing Star Wars to a younger audience. So that means that all of this stuff that they're giving away for free is backstory. That's not important. We're going to tell you the least important stuff. But that's all the stuff that we love Star Wars for, that we earned over 40 fucking years. And so what are you setting it up for if that's the case? If you're giving away all of the greatest parts of Star Wars, then that means you're leading into something else. And if the mystery of what you're trying to tell us is the sequel trilogy, well, you've already fucking failed. It's just so frustrating because I live in an era that I literally grew up with this series that I love so desperately, and we produce this series because we collectively love it. Mm-hmm. We love it because of where it came from, where it started and where it went, not necessarily where it is, though there are some, to be fair, who do love it.
You know what? I'm still a fan because, goddamn it, at least I'm getting more Star Wars.
I accept that.
Except for Resistance.
And so just living in a place where I am I love the Anakin, Luke, Leia story so much, and I don't want to throw Padme out with the bathwater because she's an integral part of this whole story, being the mom and all. And Obi-Wan, you can't throw away Obi-Wan because he's as integral as fucking Vader. You can say they're the two sides of the exact same coin.
Oh, absolutely.
I love that dynamic so much, and it no longer exists. So much so that they're using this children's book video version of the tale in order to set up the universe. This is the setup. It's weird. I parallel this to driving down the road, turning on the classic radio station and hearing music from when I grew up. Like, that's not classic rock.
Yeah.
Like, that's music I grew up with. I'm not that old. Like, how is that classic? Like, that's me. Have I turned into classic music? Is Star Wars now classic rock? I refuse to accept that. But that's the world I'm living in, so I have to accept it. And that's what this show is. This is classic rock Star Wars, and I am the old man on the porch shaking my fist. That's not old.
It's old. We're old, Adam.
It's not old. God damn it, it's not old. It's so fresh and new and still. Here's the irony. This is the bitter irony of it all. Is that it's so fresh and new that they're still telling the same story in new ways to entrap younger viewers. But it's not new enough to be the new stuff. Like, they're like, hey, look at this wonderful, amazing, great storytelling. But we're going to set that aside after we've lured you in and present you with this ball of bullshit called Star Wars Resistance.
Well, I mean, to be fair, like the actual Star Wars saga itself, like not all the side stories, the television shows, all that shit, like that is an old arc, like the whole hero's journey. I mean,
cosmically, it is an old arc. Yeah.
We've gone over. But I don't know. I think, to play devil's advocate, like, and I can't speak for the show because, again, I already said I haven't seen it yet. I really want to watch it. I do, like, beautiful fucking animation. Yeah, like, just the stills of seeing Vader and Leia, I was already sold. I didn't even give a shit what it was about. But
speaking of, I should know.
And the Wampa! The goddamn Wampa.
The fucking Wampa's great,
I love Wampas.
That's actually a better Wampa than the real Wampa, to be fair.
I don't know if we can be friends anymore. I mean, it's pretty cool. It's no Eduardo, but it's pretty cool.
Dude.
Eduardo's my Wampa. Dude. But like a lot of this shit, from my understanding of the series and what it's telling, it's just, you know, different views on the different points of big parts of the show. Like a lot of it's stuff we already know. Like it's a part of the cultural zeitgeist.
Yeah,
like
we
everybody
know.
knows no, like people that have never seen Star Wars, and I have had conversations with people that have never seen a single Star Wars thing ever. They can tell you all the fucking characters. They can tell you the "No, I am your father" shit. Like the shit that to us, like when we experienced that, it fucking blew our little minds. Like it's just a part of the zeitgeist. So for kids to watch this, to be their introduction, to get them into the new series, I can get it, because they should already have a bit of an understanding of this, even if they've never seen any of it. But still, I mean, yeah, they're bastardizing.
This is weird, because I'm like wringing my hands as you're talking, because I'm like, calm down, Adam. Stop.
Hey, you know
Don't
what?
freak
You said
out.
it's a better fucking Wampa than the original Wampa. So
I don't even care about the Wampa. I just like.
No, I do agree.
I get your point.
I'm just trying to be the other side.
Yeah, and I totally understand your point. The story's been told. People know it, whether they've seen the shows or not. They've heard enough people talking about it that it is in the cultural vernacular. Like people understand for sure. I don't have an answer to that.
Oh, okay.
My answer was, but I still feel like you have to earn it by watching them.
No,
even though you don't
agree wholeheartedly. I absolutely do.
But yeah, but we do, because we watched it and we love it. But the reality is you don't. Like no one has to watch it. They know already, and they know that there's people who are passionate about it, and they know that it doesn't matter to them, and they know that they want their stupid comedy with their fucking action adventure, and so they have, you know, the fucking Last Jedi, which is Battlestar Galactica with Marvel overtones, and like they're fine with it, and they're like, no, this is the new Star Wars, so why do you care? Why does it matter to you? And the truth is, it matters because film in general used to mean something. Like, and I'm not talking about this pretentious understanding of what film can do for humanity. I'm talking about the impact of story on individual development, and your individual understanding of a storyline and how it impacts your own personal life. And the only way that you can get that is through living through the story. So, for example, you have to read the book cover to cover. You have to watch the movie from opening to closing credits. You have to understand and think. You have to reflect on what you just consumed in whatever form you consumed it. And we just don't live in that world anymore.
It's a fucking shame.
And so I'm sort of longing for that world. And what's so painful about it is that I'm seeing it in myself. Like I'm seeing that I don't have the patience to sit down and watch a long form movie anymore. And I would rather get it in small sound bites. And that is so depressing that that's where I am right now. And I'd like to blame it on our current culture. And I'd like to blame it on technology. And I don't know what the real culprit is, if not just the human condition. But I see the problem and I realize that I'm living it. And that is so... And so when I expand that to something that I love desperately, whether it's Star Wars or some other genre, it's frustrating for me because I don't feel like people are appreciating in the same way. Hence, are they really getting out of it what we got out of it?
Yeah.
And they may be, I don't know, but it seems like maybe they're not. You know, especially when you have shorts like this giving away these wonderful moments that are so integral to character development. Okay, so I'm sorry, I've been talking a lot.
No, I agree with every goddamn point you just said. Like I'm that guy too. Like I will get there 20 minutes early before a movie so I can watch all the really stupid shitty commercials before the previews. And then I'm the guy that their wife is fucking tugging on, like, I have to pee. Let's get the fuck out of here. No, the credits aren't over. We're still watching this shit.
Yeah.
But yet there's so many movies that I miss because it's like I look at it and it's like if it's over 80 minutes, I'm like, fuck, can I really be out of the house that long?
Yeah.
Like, I missed Suspiria. I was looking forward
my
to that so goddamn much because I love Dario Argento and I wanted to see what they did with it, especially because they were taking it in a completely different direction. It wasn't Giallo. Just,
I've heard it's amazing, and I so desperately want to see it.
Oh God, yeah, I'm not going to get on that rant, but no, I agree. It's depressing that's where we are. Like, cinema was always my religion, and I feel it's slipping away. Like I figured out God is real.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Okay, so my understanding and appreciation of Carrie Fisher as an actress and Princess Leia as a character stem from my watching her from a fledgling actress in A New Hope to a seasoned actress in The Force Awakens. I watched and experienced that progression as a fan, as someone who adored her, who had sexual fantasies about her, who just desperately loved her as a human being. I watched that growth. And so my appreciation for her is not just for one singular, oh, she was great as Princess Leia. It was much more complex from when Harry met Sally to fucking Jane Silent Bob Strikes Back as the nun driving fucking Bob. Like, it got so crazy, the extent of her to her just writing her book, The Princess Diarist, that you turned me on to. Like, the complexity of who she was so enraptured, enveloped within this character that it became a challenge, and this really complex understanding of where one began and where the other ended, from a child actress's standpoint to a mature human adult comedian writer. And you won't get that from these little shorts saying Princess Leia was the daughter of Darth Vader who stood up to him when he tried to take the Death Star plans back.
Yeah.
Like, fuck, man.
Yeah,
like,
that is.
Come on. Like, this is. There's so much more involved in this. And Star Wars is not just Star Wars. It's so much more. It's the characters who play the characters. It's the actors who sacrifice. It's the directors, the visionary directors who took chances on every single film, got shit for every single film from the most diehard of fans, and still progressed technology to develop new technologies in order to tell these stories that he was so passionate about. And from the beginning to the end, it never extended past, I want to entertain 12-year-old kids. This is the scope of the story that I want to tell. And as the kids grew in age, they fought back, and he still stuck his ground. And then as soon as Disney bought him up, they fucking changed it all. And now we're living in a world where none of that matters at all. And we're just trying to sweep all of that under the fucking proverbial rug so that we can tell this other story that no one wants to fucking watch. And it's all stolen fucking... Okay, so in advertising, we have a saying... I'm sorry. In advertising, we have a saying called borrowed equity. And that means that you partner with a brand in order to be authoritative in comparison. Like, for example, I wear Nike shoes, hence I'm a better runner. Because I borrowed equity from Nike shoes, Nike brand, because I wear them, hence that I wear them, and they're a good company, I am hence a better runner. Like, that is borrowed equity. You are borrowing the authority from one thing in order to prove yourself. So Disney Star Wars is borrowing the equity of Lucasfilm Star Wars, even though legally it's the same goddamn thing right now. But the guy who created it is no longer part of the same thing. And that's the disconnect. They're saying that Lucas Star Wars is what we bought. We are now Disney Star Wars. Since we have Star Wars in connection with the two, we are as powerful. And the truth is, you're not. The storytelling is not as powerful. There was no technological feat that you drove home in order to test the boundaries that Lucas did in every single movie. There is no storytelling boundary that you're leaping through that they did. Like, none.
Well, and that's the confines of the the media industry nowadays. Like, there's no such thing as being able to take risks. Like, everything has to stay within the realm of what they know is profitable. And it's a fucking shame.
This is fucked up because we started, we're like, this is a short show, and we're a half an hour in, and we haven't gotten past the first story.
The first part. Oh my god. You know what? Don't worry, guys. It's going to go quicker.
God
the rest of the time, it's just us jerking off. So that's a quick endeavor.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Let's move on before we start shaking our fists and lighting the torches.
Oh, fuck. Give me some tiki torches. Let's talk a little bit of Mandalorian.
Triggered.
I'm sorry.
Yes, the Mandalorian.
I'm excited because we do have actually some confirmations, and though Pedro Pascal is not at least I don't think it's a this month confirmation. It's somewhere in the lines anyway. But you know him from Game of Thrones. You know him from Narcos. He is an amazing actor who actually adds more to the characters than the writers do, in my opinion. And he is the Mandalore in The Mandalorian. So I'm very much looking forward to his acumen, what he's going to be playing. I think this is an amazing casting. And I'm sorry, I'm like fighting here. It was rumored that he was going to be the Mandalorian once it was announced that he was going to be part of it, but it's been recently confirmed. In addition to that, we have Gina Carano, who was in most recently Daredevil. She is also a fantastic actress. She's only slated for 1 episode in contrast to Pedro Pascal's 8 episodes. So that leads us to believe that The Mandalorian is an 8 episodic series per season. And so far, she's only in 1 of them. That doesn't mean she's only going to be in 1, but it's just announced as 1. I feel like whenever it comes to actor or actress announcements, and especially if they ever leak like a title of an episode, it gives a little bit away, and so they're trying to hold back. And that's why I think they're only announcing.
Which is surprising for Disney. They're notorious for giving everything away.
That's true. Who knows? I mean, we're months away from this being released. So
months? We're like a fucking year away.
Wait, when in 2019 is it supposed to be?
December. I could have swore we went over it in one of the episodes.
For some reason,
it's supposed to be. Basically, they said fourth quarter is when Disney Plus is going to be released, but more than likely it's going to be November, December.
That is a long ways away. Okay, so we're a year out. So more info is coming. But most notably, I think, at least for me, and not because I particularly like him or not, is... I hit the wrong button. That was going to be a dramatic reaction, and it just didn't happen. Nick Nolte is actually in it. This is like a solid movie actor who has not graced the screen in a while.
Not only that, he's a character actor. Like, he disappears on the screen. So I was pretty stoked when I saw that.
Okay, so I want to speculate a little bit. I want to have a little bit of fun. Because when I heard this, and this is just from my own personal background with Mandalorian culture, from the Clone Wars to Rebels, and we've had a whole entire show dedicated. The last episode of Infernal Brotherhood, Scruffy Looking Nerf Herders, was devoted to the Mandalorian. So check out YouTube, check out theinfernalbrotherhood.com website in order to see that episode. But I suspect this level of an actor must be the senior head of a Mandalorian clan. Like, he's got to play like a big fucking lead.
Oh, yeah. Like, I could actually see him being the Mandalore.
Oh, shit.
Or being like a high up in, one of the main clans. Like, being essentially a defector. Like, he got sick of the way shit was being ran and was just like, fuck this. Because, he's a scruffy motherfucker. Like, he could be that guy that, you see him all the time in the bar. He's got his rusty-ass Beskar, missing pieces, and just sitting there getting drunk the whole time. And then shit goes down, and he's the one that's like, da-da-da-da-da-da, everybody's gone.
What do you like better? Ex-Mandalorian or ex-Imperial?
Depends on the context. I can... Actually, now I'm thinking of it, like, ex-Imperial would be pretty cool, because he could be, like, a pretty high-up person.
Yeah.
Being a defect... Well, I guess at this point in time, it wouldn't be a defector because the Empire has already fallen. But...
This is all before the Aftermath books, right?
Well, no, I thought this was after Aftermath.
This is only 7 months or 7 years after Jedi, right? So Aftermath was like...
Yeah. No, Aftermath was... No, Aftermath was...
All right, goddamn, we're going to have to Google here.
Google? Motherfucker, I got the books right here. Oh, wrong books. Damn it, I forgot. The new ones don't actually say the timeline. I mean, regardless, it's about the same time. So it's...
It would be very interesting to me if he... I mean, either way, I'm down for it. I love the idea of him as this grizzly old veteran, fill in the blank. But what he could bring to the table for, let's say, a believer, an Imperial believer who was burned by the system. Like, I feel like that is a really powerful role for an actor like him to portray. Like, he still believes in the Empire. Gallius Rax, Aftermath movies, you know, they've gone to the different side of his world for whatever reason. He's no longer a part of it, but he still believes. Like, that is the depth of a character I think he could pull off. But equally so, if it were something like, I am the leader of a household that has been turned to shame because of our support of the Empire, or more interestingly, and maybe we'll touch on in a little second in the show notes, some Chiss Ascendancy type fucking storylines.
Yeah.
Like, I'm burned by my war-torn nature of a culture. I need to sort of, you know, discover who I am for myself. Like, there's just so much... This is a time in Star Wars that is so exciting because we don't know. We don't know fully. We have cliff notes about what's going on, but we don't know the depth of what's actually going on.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's so much story they can draw on. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Either way, like, regardless of what he is, like, even if he's just, like, the comedic relief.
I would be disappointed if that was the case, but yeah.
Me too. But, I mean... We also have the contrast of the last episode, or the last series we watched, so... Sorry, not getting on that topic again.
It's just so frustrating because they did such a good episode. Like, all the others are just like, why? Yeah. Why? Who wrote this? Fuck you! Like,
what a lighter note. Let's move on to the next thing. Yeah. This is one that I know both of us are fucking wicked excited for, because we're both losers that like to read.
Why is this not working?
Thrawn Treason.
Oh, dude, this is a whole... Why is this not working? There we go, okay.
Dude, and the best part, like, the best part, the part that excites me more than anything else is, you know, typically when Disney will announce a trilogy or whatever, they'll sort of nonchalantly, as they're releasing the different books, sort of announce what book it is in, you know, the duology or the trilogy or whatever. No mention of this being a trilogy. So we might actually get like a continuing story arc with Timothy Zahn and Thrawn, which, oh my God, would be amazing.
Okay, so I want to temper that very tempting, fucking wonderful idea with the season ender of Star Wars Rebels. Like, you think we'll... Because this is clearly like in the middle of season 4 of Star Wars Rebels that this book takes place.
Yeah, no, they announced that. But I don't know, they can do the whole Stephen King I mean, fuck, Zahn's been doing that anyways, where it goes from, you know, a radically different era to another. Like, it's
I did not even consider that.
Yeah,
that's
I mean,
true.
That's how
the last book was predicated on it. Yeah.
Yeah, like that entire book. It was...
Oh, I didn't even consider that.
It was half and half. So, I mean, he could very easily cover the span of Arrival to just his position.
Oh my gosh.
To Rebels, but constantly go back and forth. Because, I mean, if you think about the last book, they really only touched on, like, a tiny, tiny portion of his past. But that was half the fucking book. Like, realistically, in the span of it, it was, what, 3 or 4 days that he spent with Vader? And that was a fucking novel. Right. So,
dude, what if...
I'll be the optimist and hope that it keeps going.
What do you think? Because Thrawn was introduced in a TV series, cartoon, what if he's in The Mandalorian?
then my dick will just completely explode. I will never be able to get an erection ever again. It'll just be a flaccid.
What if he's in the fucking Mandalorian? That would be the perfect place. It's the era that we don't know about. We don't know what happened to him after Rebels.
Yeah.
He clearly wasn't involved in the entire Rebellion era.
Mm-hmm.
So, at least, the film Rebellion era, 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah.
I mean...
Yeah.
Fuck!
If this is him coming back, like, finding his way back to just outside of the wild space and unknown regions...
There has to be connection
between... Could you
between...
imagine that being the finale?
I would lose my mind.
Yeah.
I'm losing my mind just thinking about it. There's so many open questions. Like, Snoke clearly said in canon, I watched the Empire rise and fall. There are clear species out there, like the Chiss and the Grix, that are watching the galaxy, that are sort of testing the boundaries of the galaxy in the same way the Empire is sending out little feeling parties into the outer regions. They've alluded to it. They have to pay it off somehow. I would be so disappointed if it were just in a comic.
Yeah.
Especially when they brought Thrawn back in a TV series. If we got Thrawn back and the Mandalorian had to finish a Mandalorian war with the Grix and Chiss Ascendancy that they started during the Galactic Civil War that we didn't watch because we were focused on the Galactic Civil War, holy fuck, it brings in so many new... Like, we've talked about this before, but it's so exciting to me. I'm hitting my mic. That's how excited I am.
It is that exciting, Adam. I definitely agree.
Oh, dude. I'm so excited.
I hadn't even considered that. Like, well, him being a part of it.
Yeah, I don't...
Oh, man.
The realities are, I don't think they will. I think they're probably going to try to tell a contained story that you don't have to know deep Star Wars lore in order to understand.
Well, do you think that would alter the story for anybody, though?
I genuinely don't. I really don't. And
yeah, because like they do a lot of that stuff with the new trilogy. Even the standalones, like they do a lot of callbacks to previous movies, but if you had never seen a Star Wars movie ever and you went in and saw any one of these, it works as its own contained piece and you do not lose anything from it. So I think they could very well do that, still make it an amazing show, but people like us have a fucking heart attack. And
if anyone could do it, it is Jon Favreau and why am I forgetting his name?
Yeah, you're not the only one.
He did Clone Wars. He did Rebels.
Dave Filoni. There we go.
Dave Filoni. Thank you.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, definitely. If there was ever a power team, that's them.
Like they can definitely do it. They've got the lore. They know the storybook team. Like that's the thing that the movies failed to do was lean on the. Do they even call themselves a storybook team? Like I don't remember what the.
I don't know if that's a thing anymore. I mean, it was.
Oh, really?
Point. Like that's why the books were always so fucking good. There was little inconsistency here and there, but nothing like.
But you have people like Pablo Hidalgo who regularly write sort of like behind the scenes of the movies, and they're connected to all the lore. Who, if you leaned on them, they know everything and they can tie everything in together. And Filoni and Favreau are the two people who, if there were ever people to do that, would be the ones to do it. And so that's why I look at something like The Mandalorian and I think, this is the place. This is the place for fans. Like, fuck the movies at this point. No one gives a goddamn when you have something like The Mandalorian on slate. Like, this is like next level shit.
Movies. You say fuck the movies, but we got Solo and Rogue One, god damn it.
That's true. That's true.
Or are you just talking the trilogy? Because then I can get behind that shit. Like, that's just another movie to me.
To be fair, I am only talking the trilogy, and only because Disney has straight up said outright they're forsaking all Star Wars movies except for this Episode 9. Like, they stopped all development in every film that was already planned, including, not solely, Obi-Wan, Boba Fett, Yoda. Like, they had those films like scripts in hand and pre-production planned, and they just scrapped them after Solo. So like they've given up on the big screen adaptations until Benioff and Weiss, and maybe Johnson comes through with his, but it's all TV at this point. That's all that's announced is TV.
Well, there's a lot less limitations and a lot like just a god awful amount of freedom when it comes to TV. So it's
long form storytelling.
Makes sense for them to do that.
Yeah. Okay, so this is something. Oh fuck, dude, we're so over time. We haven't even gotten past fucking TV yet.
So the next little bit, it's going to be quick. I promise, guys.
Yeah. You said that last time.
I totally did. No, I said we wouldn't go on a rant.
That's
an
true.
Angry rant.
That's
At least I think that's what I said. I don't fucking know.
Rewind the tapes. I wonder, like, I genuinely wonder, like, because from the beginning we've enjoyed Star Wars and the original trilogy to the prequel trilogy as these sort of 12 hours of really wonderful storytelling. But in a world with Game of Thrones, Sopranos, Breaking Bad, where we know that there's a genuine opportunity for character development, storytelling, challenging of established ideas in long form, where, like, for example, if Last Jedi were a TV series of 8 one-hour episodes that went into fully developing why Luke Skywalker was the way he was, why they were so forced and felt so forced to go to this other casino planet in order to find this thing. Why this character of I can't remember his name, but Benicio del Toro's character, DJ, sold himself out in such a trite way. If they developed those characters, those decisions would have meant more to the audiences that rejected them outright. It probably would have been
like if that would have been just like a two or three episode B storyline,
right,
where they just are like, yeah, we're gonna give you something else that's still in the vein of this, but we want to build tension for the finale, would have made perfect sense.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm ripping my fucking earphones on my head. That actually kind of hurt. Yeah, and so that's why I genuinely think if The Mandalorian does really well, like we suspect it will, I'm not convinced we're going to have really great movies of Star Wars anymore. I think it's all going to move to TV. Like, why would you ever want to see a Star Wars movie when you can get long-form entertainment in a series?
Well, I mean, if you're asking me, then I would always rather see it on a big screen because I'm that guy. But no, I think if it does super successfully, because realistically, The Mandalorian is pretty much the reason, or that's what's going to open up Disney Plus. Like that is going to be what gets subscribers. And if they can keep subscribers, especially being like the in-between brand as far as price from what they're projecting of like the Netflix to like the Showtime, like being right in between that shit. Like if they can grasp everybody with The Mandalorian, then it's like that's going to be where they go. But I could still see them doing like little one-off movies here and there where there's not necessarily enough story to do a full season of something or possibly multiples, but there's just enough to do a good, 90 to 120 minutes.
That's actually a really fair point because...
And like that, I think that could be the future of Star Wars.
Well, we've seen a series, especially like Marvel has put out, where you have Daredevil on Netflix, which is unarguably an amazing show, but could probably live for 2 to 3 episodes shorter than it actually lives. And that goes for all of those Marvel series, where it seems like they stretch it out to 13 episodes, but they don't really need to. They could probably keep it at 8 or 10 and be more impactful, because there's always sort of a fluff episode or 2 fluff episodes in there.
Yeah.
If they learn from that, and if they like listen to the fans, yeah, you're right. They could do one-off movies that don't deserve a series, and then really delve deep into the series, develop the universe out, flesh it out even more, give the fans what they want, and give directors and producers and actors a chance to stretch their legs without genuine threat of box office failure. Like, that's a win-win.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because you have one episode of a 10-part season that sucks, and everything else is gold. You're not out any money.
No one even focuses on it. Like,
no.
Game of Thrones last season, which episode sucked? They all had different directors. Who fucking knows? Because they're focused on this total storyline, the total season. And sometimes not even just the season, just the show in general. Like, that's the episodic nature of this, is you have that opportunity to really challenge your audience. You know, when I was watching American Horror Story Asylum, and they were really focused on the horror side of it, and then they had this really absurd episode where everyone was doing song and dance stuff.
I loved it!
Because I'm such a crazy, insane fan of Broadway and song and dance numbers, like you, I absolutely fucking adored it, but I heard it deadpanned by a lot of fans. But those are the type of chances they could take.
Nobody understood the humor in that.
Like, and the fact that you're in an asylum.
Exactly. And that was a hallucination, too.
Yep.
That wasn't even fucking real. Yeah.
It's made it all the better.
Yeah, American Horror Story. That's one of those shows that, oh, man, I guess really it's only been the last 2 seasons haven't done it for me. Yeah. Like, they have potential, and then they just go... And they should only last 12 episodes, never the full 13. Right. Assholes, but whatever.
It's wild.
Okay, let's talk comics.
I'm sorry. Yeah, let's. It's been so. We're almost out of time here.
We are.
I don't even know if
comics will be quick. It's just barely gotten announced. So, Darth Vader, Dark Visions.
This is it's medieval shit.
It's gonna be. It really. You saw it as medieval. I saw it as apocalyptic.
Horse with a shield and a sword,
but it's got horns, man.
Yeah, this is like
it's like he's death, like one of the plagues. The 4
I did not see it that way.
That's how I saw it, and that's why I
saw like a Boris Vallejo sort of Conan-esque thing.
Yeah, I can see that. But this series should be interesting. This series is going to be delving into the mind of Darth Vader and sort of, from my understanding, where he draws like a lot of his power from the dark side and blah, blah, blah. Basically, it's just going to be a bunch of lip service and probably a lot of dreamscapes of Vader and getting into the mindset of Vader, which I might actually start buying comics again just to read this.
Well, I feel like if you haven't been buying the latest Vader comics series that's running right now, you're totally missing out, and you shouldn't bother with this one.
See, I'm at the point where I mean, fuck, you guys can see the boxes back there. Like, I have no more room for comics in my comic area. So, like, I just wait until it's all out. I can get a trade paperback or 2 or 5, whatever the fuck it is, and just sit down in my office, pretend the outside world doesn't exist, and just devour them. Like, that's honestly how I do my comic reading nowadays. So
I have a slight problem with the premise of this. So let me give a quick summary of what the press release says about this, and then I want to give my impressions. And I continually keep hitting my goddamn mic. So it says, joining for issue number 2, Star Wars Vader Dark Visions will take readers to the darkest parts of the galaxy. Places where the mysterious anti-hero known as Darth Vader can be someone's greatest fear and even someone's greatest hope. That's what bothers me.
I forgot about that part.
That genuinely, like, really, really bothers me. Like, the whole premise of Anakin Skywalker is that there was a promise of hope. And he did so many wonderful things while struggling and fighting with his inner dark side. Vader... he's more machine than man. He is personification of the dark side. I don't like exploring the idea of goodness in what is supposed to be and portrayed every single other place on the goddamn media marketplace of Star Wars as a monster of a character. And it is only Luke Skywalker, only him, that can bring out the goodness and redeem him. If we start exploring avenues of Vader, which are sympathetic and actually good, and he's not doing such a bad thing for some people. He's a hero to some. Well, you just ruined the fucking character to me.
Yeah, then you turn him from, Dracula to Frankenstein's monster.
Right.
And
I never thought of that. That's a good contrast.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I don't like that idea. I completely forgot about the hope part. Oh God.
Yeah, that's the only thing that bothers me is it's this weird, like, the imagery. I didn't see the apocalyptic stance that you took. I very much saw that sort of lone villainous character of Conan in this cover. And
I
so
totally see it now.
I was like, okay, he's gonna go out and just sort of, kill men, rape women, and do his Vader-esque stuff, even though Vader never partook in rape. I don't want to paint him in that light. No, he's not Cosby, for fuck's sake.
He was evil in a good way. He just killed motherfuckers. He didn't scar them for life.
Oh my gosh.
To be fair, I'd probably rather be
so
killed.
True. It's so true. That's the worst thing I've ever heard in my life, but it is so true. He only murdered children. He didn't rape them.
Yeah, no, it was cool. It was cool.
Holy shit.
Well, that's still that. Even saying that, that sounds better than, oh yeah, he totally raped children.
You're right.
They still had their innocence. They're just dead.
It's so fucked up. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so I'm a little concerned that what they're developing Vader into. We started with a place of A New Hope where he was this unstoppable force. Empire Strikes Back, more machine than man. You didn't know who he was, and quite frankly, you didn't care. He was just the bad guy. He was the villain. And as soon as we saw Empire Strikes Back, we realized, holy shit, he's not the biggest bad guy on the block. Mm-hmm. He kneels to someone else. How badass must this other character be? And then we understand the Emperor in The Last Jedi. Fuck me, in Return of the Jedi, and we're like, wow, this is like. He's an evil, wicked, like despicable human being, but his son can bring him back. That's all the arc you need of a character. He is darkness, he has a slight bit of lightness, and the only one can bring him back is his own son. His estranged son. And then we're fed the prequels where we see that he was just a slave, and then he was brought into a world that he didn't understand of politics and posturing. He did everything he could to be a heroic character, and he was sort of kept out of the politics side of it, even though that's really all he wanted because he was one for titles and heroism. Much more controlled by his passions and his emotions, which is very Sith of him, ironically. And then he falls to the darkness for the sole reason of saving his only true love in life, Padme. And ironically, that is his undoing, the tragedy that is Darth Vader. And now we're going to be exploring another side of him, a side where he can be the good guy from a certain point of view. Like, fuck you. He's a bad guy. He's supposed to be a bad guy. The reason why Rogue One ending worked is because we knew at that period in time he was more machine than man. He was a monster. He was a machine of death. He murdered his Jedi brothers and sisters. He murdered children in the Jedi Temple. He is a monster. To identify with that and to soften that steals the strength of what the character is, in my opinion.
Yeah, that pretty much bastardizes 40 years of, story to make him all right. No.
That being said, it's probably going to be pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be beautiful.
I hate that, but god damn it.
Okay, now let's get on to some actually quick, lighter notes.
I love that you're driving this fucking train.
I know, this shit never happens. What the fuck is wrong with us? I should be drunk. But porgs! Oh my god!
We go from the complexity and tragedy of Vader to fucking porgs.
You are damn right. I don't give a fuck. I love porgs, and god damn it, I love this set when they finally announced the goddamn thing being up, because they had teased pictures of this porg set.
Really?
Oh yeah. Like, I'd been seeing pictures of this shit for a while, and then they finally released a goddamn thing. Yeah, fucking 800 plus pieces. It's like $60. It's like this fucking tall, and it's a porg when its mouth moves, its fucking wings move. And my cats will totally destroy it if I ever buy it. So I'm probably going to buy it.
I don't get it. Can you explain to me what the draw is? What is your connection to porgs?
I like penguins and puffins, and it's basically a penguin and a puffin, and they're stupid. I never liked Ewoks. I guess this is the weird, childish, niche thing in the series that I like. Yeah. That's all it is. I mean, they're cute creatures. They're dumb as fuck. They add no anything to the story at all. But I'm fucking obsessed with them, and I did not want to be at all. But yeah, so it's a fun little set. You said it's like $60, I think.
That's crazy. I just don't get it. Well,
I fucking love Legos. I would actually buy them more if I had places to put them. That's my problem. You know,
that's the reason why you need to buy a new house, a bigger house.
I do.
So you can put Legos.
Go with the wife, something. Oh no, I kind of like her. She lets me buy things. And then moving on. Now these next two, I'm just gonna go ahead and say this shit right now. I'm fucking pissed with the next two things. When I was doing the show notes, I saw them. I'm like, oh my god, that's awesome. Okay, I'm gonna make the note, and then I go to buy them. Fucking sold out. But this is the Gentle Giant.
Already sold out?
Already sold out. 750 piece unit, like 750 units. Gone. Completely gone. But this is the Gentle Giants mini bust of Ahsoka as Fulcrum. Fucking beautiful detail. But I mean, you can't go wrong with Gentle Giants. Like Gentle Giants and Kotobukiya, like those, they fucking have a lot of money of mine, to say the least. Just highly detailed, beautiful. The lightsabers actually light up, and of course it's Fulcrum era, so they're just white lightsabers. Just beautiful piece, but sold out, so it's fucking stupid.
Can I chime in briefly?
Absolutely.
So I'm a graphic designer by trade. I like to think of myself as an artist, though to be fair, you're much more of an artist than I am, as in you.
No. Art is art, goddammit.
What?
Period. Art is art.
Okay, but you actively create for a living, like artistic pieces. I create design pieces, and in my mind, I make a separation between the two.
No. You pull shit out of the ether just the same way I do, just a different medium. Don't fucking sell yourself short.
Okay.
Damn it.
So I appreciate that.
All right.
So to be said, a bust is above your chest and up. It's not your ass and up. You can't call this a bust when it's your ass and up.
Well, yeah.
This is a stupid argument of mine to have, but I'm just saying.
Okay, so the definition of the mini bust, it is a statue, but it's not a full statue. But yes, I understand.
Man, that's some crackerjack fucking shit.
No. Trust me. I feel you 100%. Like a bust is here up.
Right.
But yeah, the mini bust, basically, it's just a way to make a cheaper, smaller, still highly detailed and beautiful piece. But yes, it's...
That being said,
I gotcha.
These sculptors, man.
They are like, and
awesome.
To be honest, at first I was like, I really don't like her face because, we're so used, like the only time we've seen Ahsoka is, obviously in the animated shows.
Right.
So she's highly cartoony, but with this, I mean, that's fucking real. Like that's a legit face. Like if you saw her in a movie, you wouldn't think twice of it.
Is there? Do you ever have a problem? And this is something that I suffer from, which is why I ask it. Do you ever have a problem with alien species being too human? Like this looks like a human with a hat, not a Twi'lek.
Well, she's not a Twi'lek, anyways. She's a Tortuga, whatever.
Oh, right.
It's another name. Yeah, no, I got you.
But my point is, it doesn't look like an alien. It looks like a human with a hat.
No, it doesn't bother me at all.
Okay.
Just because with our first
Togruden she's Togruden.
There we go. Yeah. So our first exposure to one of these species is Shock T.
Right.
So it makes sense that she would look as such, but no, No, I actually can't think of really any of the aliens in Star Wars that bother me for looking superhuman.
He's just like the fucking 80s warrior princess bandana separating the headdress v the face. It looks human. It kind of bugs me. And I get it. Like, we have human actors to play these alien roles, so there has to be some element of humanity. You look back at the original Cantina, and it's very much, puppet faces, and so there's no human aspect of it. I kind of like that. I don't mind that it's cheesy. When we get into the much more human, expressive sides of the alien... Okay, so, like, your Rhodians... clearly played by human actors, don't look human at all. I buy into it. I love it.
Oh, of course.
You run into the Grudens and the Twi'leks, very much clearly human actors playing aliens, still look like humans. Like, that's where I'm just like, it's a little too close to human. Like, just give me a little, I don't know. Like, maybe make her face connect with her head tentacles. Like, I don't know, to Gruden. And
well, I mean, we did kind of get that with Jabba's right-hand man. I'm completely drawing a blank on his name.
Bib Fortuna.
Bib Fortuna. Holy shit, yeah.
Love me some Bib Fortuna.
We kind of get it, but yeah, no, fuck. That's
See, but that's just proof that they can do it. Oh, yeah. Dude. Okay, I don't want to hang on this fucking point forever.
No, if I say the next thing I was going to say, it's going to be another 30 minutes of us going on. Okay, so finally, and this pisses me off most of all, an unattainable fucking gonk droid. If ever there was a fucked up thing in this world, it was that.
We just talked about this being our favorite Return of the Jedi droid scene.
Yeah, like, gonks are my favorite droids. Like, period.
That's so funny.
Of course, everybody's got their favorite alien species, their favorite heroes, their favorite villains. This is my favorite droid. I love R2-D2. Absolutely do. Love BB-8. C-3PO is funny.
He's all right.
He's there. You kind of
He's kind of a bitch, to be fair.
But gonk droids, oh my fucking god, I'm obsessed with. So Disney released a special set. Well, I mean, individual toys, but whatever. Anyways, they released an Elite series of droid figures that are exclusive to the Disney store. They're supposed to be online. They're not online, so I'm pretty pissed. So I got to venture down to Crap Lake City to see that. Hopefully they have them. But yeah, they're really sweet. So essentially, these are the Black Series droids without being Black Series, and they come in special modes like this. Right here we get the Jabba's barge R2-D2. He comes with all the accessories. Yeah. Fucking dope.
Sweet.
And I mean, super high detail too. And these are just the 3 3/4 inch figures. Just like
what would have put this over the limit for me? Luke's lightsaber. I would have lost my fucking mind.
Yeah, I'm really surprised they didn't do that. That was actually when I first saw this image. And it's like, oh, they got all the glasses, the headdress, all that shit. Like, why don't they have a little compartment where the thing just pops out?
I would have lost my fucking nerdy mind.
Yeah, because I mean, that was a pretty integral part of the barge scene.
There's a whole ruse, is that he fucking gave up the thing that he just created for the first time, signifying his turn. Oh, I'm a fucking dork. I'm gonna get into a whole thing. I don't want to do that. But yeah, super cool little fucking figures.
Yeah.
And they're out. That sucks.
They are. They're not on the fucking store. They don't even have a picture of them being sold.
So is this C-3PO? Is this supposed to be? This is TC-14.
No. Yeah. Yeah, so this is
Cloud City, right?
Yes.
Or is this the other one that was on the Tantra V that was New Hope?
No, I believe this is Cloud City. You know what? No, it's a shame we don't have the internet in front of us to look. But I want to say this is the one from Cloud City. I'm
going to look at it.
I could be wrong. Yeah, they're just cool toys, and they're die cast, so that means they're nice and properly.
This is even before both of us are. This is the Trade Federation flagship LH-3210 cargo freighter. Is when this droid was in. So this is way back in the day. When Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan Kenobi boarded it, and the fucking super racist fucking Trade Federation people.
This is the very beginning of the fucking prequel trilogy. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Insanely fucking racist.
Cool. Can't find them. You got to go in stores. That's
Send the droid. We don't want to fucking deal with it. Oh boy. Yeah. So Master Chief Pro 99 asks, do you think all who survived Rebels and Clone Wars and the original trilogy and the prequels, this is a tall order, may join the final battle of Episode 9 in the end of the Skywalker trilogy?
That is a really tall order because, I mean, there's a lot that, I mean, you got to figure there's, let's see, if we're going from Phantom Menace to Episode 9, that's what, 40, 50, 60 years? Almost 70 years? So, I don't know. I mean, there are, of course, sentient species that do live a lot longer. I mean, look at fucking Chewbacca. We got Chewbacca hanging out with Yoda before he even knew what the fuck a Han Solo was. So, I could see it. I think if Disney really wanted to play the fan service card, that would happen. At least background characters. I mean, I really do honestly think for this last film, especially because JJ's helming it, and I mean, look at what he did with The Force Awakens. I really think we are going to get called back to some of those characters. We may even see some of them. I mean, well, fuck, we got Lando pretty much confirmed for this one, don't we?
Straight up confirmed, yeah.
And so I can see a lot of them coming back, at least some of them.
So,
and I mean, we know Jar Jar's still alive from the Aftermath series.
Dude, if he brings him back, there's no
what?
way.
God damn it. I will accept it.
Well, first of all, I love Jar Jar's ending in the Aftermath novels.
Yeah.
I thought it was poetic. I thought it was beautiful. And I'm not one of those who hates Jar Jar just because of his character. Like, I get his role in the movies. I get what Lucas was doing with him. I don't hate it. But there was a very beautiful and poetic ending to where he landed. If he comes back, that soils that poetic ending. And I'd kind of be bummed.
But here's the big but. What if...
A lot of big buts.
I do too. I can't lie. What if the reason why Jar Jar comes back is that child that he adopted? Spoiler for anybody that hasn't read the books that came out fucking years ago. What if the child that he adopted ended up being like pretty much one of the new saviors of the fucking Resistance?
It's a deep pull, man.
It's a deep pull, but fuck, who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, I doubt it, but
that's pretty
cool.
Deep. I feel like to the point of the question here, the idea that JJ was going to wrap up the prequel, original, and sequel trilogies came from a Reddit article that was not confirmed as being stated by JJ. So it was an internet rumor when you boil it down. I don't think he's going to. JJ has one role, and that is to complete the sequel trilogy that he started. So he posed, as JJ does with every one of his series that he starts, many, many questions. Very few, if none of them, were addressed in The Last Jedi because JJ didn't do it.
Yeah.
So he has a choice of whether to wrap up some of the storylines that he started or to try to connect and complete this Skywalker saga. I don't think you can do both at the same time. And let me say, this is why I think that. The sequel trilogy was never about the Skywalkers in form. It was about bringing in a new group, like originally. Now, we, as fans, wanted it to complete the Skywalker saga, but we had a completion to the Skywalker saga already. The Return of the Jedi was literally the fulfillment of the prophecy.
Yeah.
Like, that was the end. We love Luke, and so we want to see where he goes. We love the idea of offspring of our favorite heroes, and so we want to see where that's going to go. But that's not what the sequel trilogy is about. As much as it pains me to say it and admit it, it's not about that. It's about this new group of fucking misfits that I have no emotional investment in and only care about to the extent that they interact with my heroes. So I don't think that they're going to connect the Clone Wars hero survivors, Rebels hero survivors, original trilogy hero survivors in any meaningful way, they're going to have characters reprise their roles, and they're going to do their best to do service to the fan base that has fractured from their last film. Oh, I'm sorry, the last two films, drastically. And so from a business standpoint, they have to do their best to try to mend that wound. Mm-hmm. But outside of that sole interest of financial future, they don't give a fuck. Like, honestly, like, why would they? They're a corporation. They have no emotion. Their sole purpose of existence is to fulfill investment futures to their benefactories. Like, financial improvements on every year. That's it. They just need to make money. That's the sole purpose of a corporation. There is no emotional anything. We want there to be emotion because we love Star Wars. But Disney Corporation gives a fuck. They just want to see profits. So however they make those profits, they will do it. If for some weird cosmic reason we can have the Lucasfilm Story Group and Disney have a collective brain fuck where they make this really wonderful J.J. Abrams Star Wars baby that serves both purposes, I don't see it happening, but that would be amazing.
If they gave him enough freedom, I'd have enough faith in him that he could play both sides. It wouldn't be perfect. Like there's no way, as you said, it couldn't be perfect. Like there's no way. Even between you and I, who for the most part agree on most parts of everything, like we still disagree on some things. Yeah. So of course there's, it's just like art. It is art. It's subjective. But I truly believe if anybody could take that, it would be him. But I don't see.
Yeah, I can't see anyone else doing it.
Yeah.
At least we're so far after our time here, but I have the hopes that we will see such a fracture in the fan base, and we will see such a resurgence of the fan service lore through The Mandalorian that financially it just makes sense to let George do another movie or more. And I kind of feel like that's in the cards. Like, I could see that happening. And I would be so excited if they did an alternate universe version of a sequel trilogy with Lucas at the helm.
That'd be so crazy.
Like, and the thing is, there's precedent for it. It doesn't have to be this crazy, insane idea. Like, comics do it all the time, where there's alternate realities in storytelling. Star Wars, you could argue, has already set the precedent from a certain point of view. Like, the sequel trilogy that they created was a sequel trilogy from a certain point of view. Now let's see what the creator has to say about it, what his point of view would be. And we would, as Star Wars fans, accept that possibility, that dichotomy of realities, because we love this universe and we would love to see other stories told in it. Like, that's, in my opinion, that's not so far removed from the realm of possibility.
Yeah.
And it's something that would unite the fan base, the prequel and original trilogy fans, the sequel fans and Star Wars lovers. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, we just want to see these stories. Even if it's the same characters told in different ways, we want to see it. And that would be the best possible way to unite it.
Yeah, absolutely. Because none of us can come in with any sort of hangups. Yeah. Like, there's none. It's different. Like, I think it would be awesome. I mean, this will never happen in a million years, but it'd be so awesome if he, just like the comic series, The Star Wars, where it was based on the original script. Right. Like, if Lucas got to write and direct a 6-part miniseries titled The Star Wars and essentially did the movie as he originally wrote it, that'd be so fucking amazing. And Disney has the money to do something like that too. Oh, like that's why it got changed so much, was because it's like, oh yeah, that's cool, but do you have money? Yeah, we didn't think so. You can't do that.
Yeah. All right, well, we got to end it sometime. We might as well end it here.
We're hour 20.
I love talking Star Wars with you, man. It's so emotionally taxing and frustrating, and I just love it so much.
Yeah.
So as the last cap on this, Master Chief Pro 99 is asking, now that Carrie Fisher is gone, what will happen to her character in episode 9? Great question.
They did say that they were going to, mention it, because you can't just not, have Princess Leia there when she's been an integral part of the series, the new trilogy even. But they did say it was going to be very low key. They were going to be pulling from extra footage they had from Force Awakens and The Last Jedi. I really hope they don't try to make it too big of a deal, because if they do, I think that's where they can ruin it.
See, and equally, I'll be upset if it's just like a silent send-off. Like, I was pissed in the last movie when they said, stay after the credits, you're going to get a nice little memoriam for Carrie Fisher. And then it was like a 2-second thing. And I was like, no, I want more. Like, this is an actress that made this entire series possible. Like, empowered women for years. Mm-hmm. And that's all you give her as a send-off? Like, I need a little bit more.
Okay, but how did you, because of course you read the Aftermath trilogy. Mm-hmm. How did you feel, the Last Jedi novelization, right? You did read that? Mm-hmm. Okay, how did you feel about Han's send-off?
It wasn't really about Han, though. It was about the characters around him, and that was... Yeah. I can appreciate that. Yeah,
because I honestly think that's how it should be. Like, just a quick thing where it's just like, fuck, this sucks, this is horrible, we're all dying inside, but if we don't finish this shit, we're all going to join that motherfucker.
Yeah. So, and to be fair, they're in the middle of a war, and so I get that they can't spend time on it. It bothers me, but I get that they don't have the time, as the reality of the situation they're in. But she's different, man. Like,
it is. No, I agree.
Like, she's next level type shit.
Yeah, like, she's like legit gone. So,
and especially to have like this sort of like pathetic, in my opinion, a pathetic memorial at the end of the last film, and then they're still using her for the next film. They have to somehow do like another, like they have to somehow say thank you to Carrie Fisher posthumously. Like there just has to be something, because they're using her again after they've already said goodbye to her.
Yeah.
Like, that's a weird thing to do. And I get, like, I want them to use old footage in order to try to put something together that, leaves her character in a good space. And I understand the realities of separating the actress from the character. But that's one of those characters, though. There is very little separation. Yeah. Like, for people like us, I mean, that's who she was. Even in every other role that she ever had, even if it wasn't even remotely anything like Princess Leia, that's still, like, there's such a fine line between the two. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that was her first big acting gig. Like, that informed who she was. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that was straight out of fucking school.
Oh, man. Yeah, so to your question, I don't know, man. I don't know.
We'll see next December.
I want them to have an end, that they don't have to continually, through third-party characters, refer to her. I don't want her to live on.
No, absolutely not.
Like, that's weird.
She's fucking dead. Like, Carrie Fisher's dead. Mm-hmm. The character of Princess Leia needs to be dead as well. Period.
Yeah, it's a tough one. Mm. So I don't know, man. Thanks for asking the question. Yeah. And thank all of you for tuning in live and sitting with us here a half an hour past our regular cut time. Every time we do these episodes, we're like, we don't have enough time, or we don't have enough content to fill a show.
This episode, like, we had fucking, 5 things to talk about? 6 things to talk about? Yeah. I'm like, shit, this is going to be we're going to be really pulling for straws, this one.
Never underestimate our ability to wax on about Star Wars.
I know, I really should know better by this point.
We can go on for hours with no preparation at all. Thank you guys for tuning in live. And, of course, you can always subscribe to the show, subscribe to the YouTube channel, sign up to the audio podcast, or check out the website, theinfernalbrotherhood.com, to see any of the other stuff that we have going on. We do Resistance reviews, initial reactions videos to the new movies. We do live shows of deep dives into specific content at the second half of every month, and at the first half of every month, as with this episode, we do HoloNet News, where we talk about the past month's Star Wars news. There is never an end to what we have to talk about, and we love that you guys would love to participate in that. And the best way, aside from tuning in live and consuming this content, that you can participate is by sending us your own I am a Scruffy Looking Nerf Herder video or audio files. And you can do that how, Cameron?
Well, upload the video and send it to theinfernalbrotherhood@gmail.com. And it doesn't also have to be a video.
Mm-hmm.
There's also a phone number if you want to do just an audio, and we can totally add or make you a character of your choosing. And what's the number to call Adam?
That's 801-899-6168. It's a Google Voice account. No one will pick up, and you'll have all the freedom to say whatever you want, in whatever way you want, in however many ways you want, without anyone bothering you. So be a part of our passion for Star Wars in your own way. We welcome it, and we thank you for tuning in. And until we can speak of Star Wars again, may the Force be with you.
Used to thinking, used to people gonna die?
Brilliant. There's always a bigger fish. We gotta do more dog stuff, dude.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.